Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that continued pump on the Bitcoin chart. Guys, if we just go straight over to the charts, you can see that very nice close that Bitcoin made on the 2-week. Now, I am on the 2-week chart right now, same as what I was showing you in my last episode, where we were suggesting that if Bitcoin had broken down below 46,000, then there was a good chance that it could start losing its structure, and then we'd start looking at some lower targets like 42K or whatnot to see if it was going to be a total breakdown, and then we might have some touchbacks starting in this area, and depending on how we squeezed, we would play it by ear to see which level we might try to catch a falling knife and perhaps pick up some juicy entries. However, that did not happen. As you can see, we do have this bullish channel. Now, this was on my chart last episode as well, and you can see that we're just going top to bottom to top to bottom. And now, is there a likelihood that we could push up to the top of this channel again? Yeah, there is. That would be somewhere around that kind of 52 to maybe 55, $56,000 area, perhaps even bullishly pushing up into 60K or even breaking out of that channel. Who knows? But until then, we just have to recognize that we are just in the middle of this bullish channel here on the 2-week, and should we pull back, we could still end up breaking down, perhaps doing a retest of the 9 somewhere at 42, maybe even 36,000 in the mid 30s should we break down from this bullish channel. Now, guys, I do have updates for you on the 2-week. As promised, of course, I showed you the levels that we needed to close above in the last episode. Now I want to give you 2 weeks advantage, right? So we have about 12 days lead time on these key levels. If you do see BTC getting under roughly 48,300, you could expect perhaps a pullback to maybe fill this 5-day fair value gap, this 2-week fair value gap over here, where we might pull back to 43,000. Let's just say 300, 41,600 would be on the table just to retest that bullishness. And should we hold that area, maybe we could wick down to some of this liquidity at 40 to 39,000, just kind of tap it and then come back into the pool and push back up. That would be some type of a breakdown in my mind that might look like this, right? Like it could do something like this and potentially continue to break down. So we can't be just fooled that that we're just safe and sound for the next bull market yet. We're just playing this on a 2-week chart at a time, and the last 2-week chart said that we would break down under 46,000. Right now we're safe. Okay, we're totally safe on that. We're still looking potentially for continuation to the upside, but should we lose 48,300, that's going to be our first signal on a 2-week close in 12 days, guys. Okay, that maybe we could have some type of front runnable situation for a breakdown to perhaps 43, 300-ish, or perhaps 41.6 if the bulls just need a little bit of a retest there, maybe a little bit of fake out before that next push up. Should we be able to push strongly back into this channel? Should we bump our head on the channel and get rejected there, then I would be looking at those lower targets, perhaps in that $33,000 area that we suggested, all the way down to perhaps even the bear zone. Perhaps 25K to 20K, just depending on what's going on in the world, okay? But my first target would be this nice juicy box over here, somewhere around 33 to 27, based upon this harmonic perhaps playing out, should it be validated upon that breakdown. Now, that's asking quite a bit of distance on a pullback, and so I'm not really 100% sure we would get there. Just getting a kind of channel duplication, we can't see the height of this channel that we have here, and should we have some type of catastrophic breakdown, let's say somewhere at the bottom of the momentum pool here, then, it looks like 30,000 is probably the bottom. Should this happen in the next couple weeks? Of course, the higher we push, the less likely that is, because we might be falling from higher points, and maybe we just test the neutral point on this macro chart. I just want to give you guys some perspective, some heads up, should we break down. I am not saying I'm bearish. I am not saying that I'm expecting a breakdown. It's just that, of course, after a nice push, you do tend to get pullbacks, and we can possibly lose our footing at that time. So we're just going to keep these things in mind, because, of course, we also want to buy at good prices, right? We don't want to buy when it's pumping. We want to buy when we have a nice pullback. And if you didn't buy at 40K where I was telling you to buy, then perhaps you'll get a second chance somewhere else. But that remains to be seen. Guys, going to turn off the 2-week here. I'm going to just drop down to the day so we can take a look at some of that structure that really gave us the heads up that there was likely to be a pump. And I was telling you guys back here at 39 to 40K that we had this nice juicy falling wedge playing out here. So that was the falling wedge that I was looking for. The measured move off of that, I was just being super conservative, and I was saying, hey, maybe 44 to 45, 46, because we did have this weekly and this daily bearish order blocks above our head. And so, we could have just bumped our head on that area and had a lower high that ended up just breaking this thing down. But in fact, we took out the measured move, which, there's actually kind of an extension here. I'm just being a little bit playing a little bit safe, right? Just playing a little bit safe, because we want to keep the money that we earned on this last year. We don't want to just lose it in some type of a stupidity, right? But at the same time, you don't want to sell too early. So if we do take the full measured move here, it does suggest that we do have the possibility to flip that bearish order block on the daily. It looks like we have flipped that daily bearish order block. And so are we going to push up and take out this weekly bearish order block? Are the bulls just going to buy this up and flip this and take out some of this fair value gap on the 2-week and on the weekly up here somewhere around 54 to 60,000? It's totally within reach, Alpha Fam. Okay, we can see the top of this bearish order block is 52,000. We can see this first fair value gap here is somewhere around 54,000. And so if we just pushed up into these areas, that's pretty much what we've been doing this entire time, and that would not be too unusual. And then perhaps we go down or something, we can play it by ear again if we do have a breakdown. But until then, my bullish channel is holding. My 2-week principles that this chart is operating on the 2-week continues to play out. We held our footing on the 2-week, and so everything just looks bullish here. Now, do we have something to look forward to in terms of perhaps a pullback? Yeah, we did just get the measured move off of this local falling wedge, and then also off of this kind of extended falling wedge here, right? This was kind of the local one that we were playing to 44K, and then this was the extended one that could suggest, back to the top of our channel here. And of course, we've basically taken out both of them. So now we're just going to be watching for the potential for pullbacks if we lose this bearish order block here, which again, so far we're holding it. On the daily, this thing obviously could come back into some type of fair value gaps that it has left open on this impulse to the upside. We do have this nice 5-day fair value gap. I'm going to throw on the 5-day because the 5-day does close in 2 days. And, that should give you a little bit of an edge before the weekly close. Okay, Alpha Fam. So look where we are. We're at 49.5. We pushed up to 50.3. And obviously, we could go even higher, right? We could go to 52. We could go to 54. That's within our bullish channel that we have here. So that's totally doable. It is possible that we do that. But I want to give you a heads up on the 5-day, which again closes in actually 1 day and 2 hours, which is that if we do have a pullback below 47,160, in one day, in 2 hours, then there is a chance that we're going to pull back deeper to perhaps 46.5 and even right in the middle of that fair value gap there at 45,250. Now that could bullishly just fill this gap should this pullback happen, something like this. Maybe we just build some structure and then boom, we have even more space to kind of go up here, right? But should we lose that bull zone at 45,250, then just like what I was talking about on the 2-week, we could do something like this, make some type of bearish structure or something, and then we would be looking to the 5-day neutral point somewhere around 39,000, and losing that, right, we're gonna end up putting in this type of a squeeze with the 9 and the 21 EMAs, that Bollinger Band midline that's so critical that we just kind of had this nice bounce off of, and that could send us lower, perhaps into that juicy $30,000 area that we're looking for, where we do have this ginormous, monthly, weekly, and daily set of fair value gaps down there, and then perhaps it's just off to the races. Now that would be quite a dramatic pullback, of around 40%, but that's not unheard of, okay? That's not unheard of in the world of crypto. So again, that's why I have to just kind of put it out there as a feeler, put it out there as just something to be aware of. We don't want anyone to get screwed because they didn't have some type of a forethought on where we could potentially break down, and they're just going, up only, up only. It's never up only. Oftentimes you get surprised when you get the pullback, right? This also felt up only, right? Up only. But then we got a pretty big pullback, up only, and then a huge pullback. And so, yeah, I mean, look, this feels like up only right now. So could we get a double pullback or even something more catastrophic? We don't know. Okay, we don't know. Just playing it by ear. Now we do have a larger scale harmonic. Okay, this may be the 3-day, but we do have a larger scale harmonic that could take us all the way up to 70,000. I'm not ready to present that one yet. I want to see how this area kind of plays out, how we kind of build up structure over here, having taken out this shoulder. Obviously, this is a higher high than this high right here, and so this is quite a good sign. I would expect a higher low on the macro. I would not be expecting lower lows. Anyone talking about 10K or whatever, just ignore them. We have a higher high here than the shoulder, probably going to have a higher low on the macro, and that's going to continue bullishly, most likely for the rest of the year, even if we have some type of pullback. But again, that's your 5-day. That's your 5-day kind of warning levels here. Your 5-day key levels, which does close in 1 day. And then I do believe this chart is operating off of the 2-week, in fact. So if you want your 2-week levels and just be a little bit more conservative, then you're gonna have to wait longer. You're gonna have to wait 12 days for the 2-week chart to close. But this would be your key levels for the next 2-week. And as long as you're above that 41.6, what is that on the 5-day? That's going to be 45.250. As long as you're above those numbers, you're probably still in good shape, just overall, guys. Let's go ahead and just take a look at where our major pivots are. So on the day, if we do want to just continue to push on the daily, probably we need to close above 49, 370. Again, currently we're 49,500-ish. So if we close here in another let's just say 2 hours, then that will be a good sign that we kind of flipped this area over here, that we flipped this bearish order block, and who knows, maybe we just continued to pump. But should we lose that daily volatility pivot, of course we could have some pullback, perhaps into the 2-week volatility pivot at 46,600, or maybe even that 5-day volatility pivot all the way down here as low as 43,000. Don't really expect that, okay? This isn't like a target of mine or anything like that. Just saying, sometimes these volatility pivots do get picked up. That would essentially be the breakout, retest, something like that, and that's totally normal to happen as well. Okay, so let's just be realistic. All of these are totally fair targets for some type of a pullback, just if the market wants to have some type of max pain. Okay, and max pain is often the name of the game. Now if we do just go back here, maybe perhaps on the 4 hour, You can see some of this bullish structure. Of course, I showed you the falling wedges, but one thing we only talked about in the Discord, and there's a link to my group in the description of the video below, is that we did have this inverted head and shoulders here. Now, if you do want to get these type of insights, then you are going to have to go to the Discord, and of course, let's just see what is the measured move off of this bullish inverted head and shoulders, and you can see we're absolutely right there at the measured move. And boom, yeah, boom, guys, we got it. We nailed it. Okay, we nailed this falling wedge. We nailed the bigger falling wedge, and also we have now nailed that inverted head and shoulders. So don't tell me patterns don't work on Bitcoin. Crypto just tends to have these type of algorithmic things built into it all over the place. Of course, there is something Wyckofian about these things, just some type of basics of psychology. So guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. This has been a pretty long episode, but yeah, that's your alpha for the day. Stay safe. Oh, and by the way, guys, thanks for all the kind words that you've been sending me by DM and all that about my family. A lot of you guys probably have gone through similar things where a member of your families, got cancer or are having some type of a crisis or something like that. It's just a double whammy when it's happening to a couple friends and a couple family members at the same time. You try to keep a positive outlook and you do what you got to do, right, to hang together. So really appreciate those kind of words, Alpha Fam. Yeah, that's your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.